Here we are once again at the EVgo station by me, doing a charge while I work remotely today. And basically I wanted to do this video as kind of a last video, I think, for this bZ4X. I'm coming up on a year in about 2 weeks. I'm at 10,700 miles. So let's talk about some of the details of the past year. So I bought this car April 15th of 2024. The reason I got it was because Toyota had $16,000 in lease rebates. So I couldn't really pass it up. I know that these depreciate pretty fast like other EVs. And so that $16,000 really, I guess, made up for what the depreciation is going to be. I'll talk really quick about my lease deal. So my lease deal on the bZ4X is 36 months, the 12,000 miles a year, and the total price per month is $301 per month. I put $1,000 down. The residual value of the vehicle at the end of the lease is $20,000, I think $20,100, something like that. So $301 a month times 36, that is $10,836 plus $1,000 down payment. So over the lease, the 36 months, I will have paid $11,836 for the 3 years. So the MSRP of the car is $45,000. So let's take the $16,250 that Toyota has on the lease rebates. Let's add my $11,836. So that's $28,086 over the 36 months. So that is what's being paid toward this car over 3 years. So $28,886. The MSRP of this car, I think, was $46,000. So minus $28,086 brings it to $17,914. And my buyout is $20,000 at the end if I want to keep it. So really, that's not too far off what they think the value of this car is going to be at the end of the 3 years. I did test drive a Tesla Model Y and this back to back. The Tesla build quality, the sound in the car, like the noise, the road noise, just didn't feel good, didn't sound good. The suspension was stiff, and then as soon as I drove this, it was just a night and day difference. This thing's quiet, it's planted on the ground. I like the center of gravity it has. So it was a lot cheaper than the Tesla. So ultimately, that's why I went with this. This is my first electric vehicle that I've ever been in and that I've ever owned. And so I was concerned about range, having the range anxiety. Once I got a level 2 charger installed at home, I had no issues. I could charge to 100% every night and have 250 miles of range ready to go. So that went away quickly. Since the charging is free with EVgo, I decided to do some small road trips. So we would do 2 or 3 hour trips, and that way I was forced to have to fast charge while we were out. And quickly I realized this is no big deal. I was able to plug in and it would start auto charging, and then I would go either to a store around or a gas station to use the restroom, get a drink, whatnot, come back to the car, and it was ready to go. So quickly the range anxiety just went away. So it was great to experience that in the real world. So let's start talking numbers about how much I have paid for charging and how much Toyota and EVgo have paid for my charging over the past year. let's start off with EVgo. So I'm here in the EVgo app. You can see my current session. So if I go to the three dots here, I believe it's profile. Yeah. So here we can see charging stats. My favorite charger is Hero. That's the one I'm at now. That's the one that's closest to me. And total kilowatt hours dispensed. So 1,517 kilowatt hours dispensed just at this unit, and 87 total sessions. So let's do some math on that. So 1,517. So if I didn't have the free EVgo charging through EVgo and Toyota, let's do 1,517 times, the average price here is 56 cents a kilowatt hour. So that brings us at $849.52. So over the past almost year, if I were to exclusively done most of my charging here at this EVgo station, I would have paid $849.52. Now, EVgo has a rewards program that I'm not a part of because I don't need to be. So it's possibly that could have been cheaper. So if I didn't charge here and just charged at home, it's about 15 cents a kilowatt hour on average. So that comes to $227.55. So that 1,517 kilowatt hours, if that was at home, you see there, $227. A considerable difference. It's so much cheaper to charge at home than it is to public charge. So now let's look at my home charging. So we can see here I'm currently charging. Let's go to history. So what's nice about the Toyota app is I can see all of my charging history for the car, and it also divides it up by public and home. So I'm going to hit home. And I'm not going to go through all of these, but so April, May, June, I pretty much charged on slow chargers. You can see here 6 hours for 37 kilowatt hours. So let's skip to June. About this time, the EVgo charger here, Hero, stopped working for about 2 months. So I ended up having to do a lot more charging at home during this time, but I did have my level 2 charger installed, or level 2 outlet, I guess, installed at home. So it wasn't a huge deal. It's just the charging is supposed to be free and the charger doesn't work, and they didn't really care to fix it. I complained several times, and they said that they're waiting for parts. But yeah, after about 60 days, they finally fixed it. So, I don't know, jump into August. It was finally fixed, I think towards the end of August. So I was able to fast charge more, so there's less home charging. And then September, there's just a lot less charging overall because that's when my car was hit with rocks. And Caliber Collision had my car for about 2 or 3 weeks, so there wasn't a ton of charging. So I added up all of the home charging, and it equaled 1,005 kilowatt hours. And I'm going to say that's an estimate because the Toyota app doesn't know exactly if you're charging at home or if you're charging public when it's a level 2. So whenever I would plug into a level 2, like at the gym or when these worked here at this site, it considers that home because it's not DC, it's AC charging. So charging at home, 1,005 kilowatt hours times 0.15, so 15 cents a kilowatt hour, about $150. So that sounds about right. So that's about how much I've paid for almost a year with this car and electricity, since EVgo was free. So with home charging, that sounds about right, $150 in electricity. Now, there have been, I don't know, a handful of times where I've had to pay for fast charging, but I'm not going to try to track those down. It's just not worth it. I would say I'm at maybe less than $200 total for those, because I always tried to stop at EVgo. So there you have it. There's almost a history of charging and a history of my bZ4X. If you want to learn more about my journey with the bZ4X, I've got a few videos on my channel. Feel free to look at those. So moving forward, unless something drastic happens, I don't think I'm going to do any more videos on the bZ4X. I thought owning an electric vehicle would be a little more, I don't want to say exciting, but dramatic, I guess. But it's really not. After April 15th, I won't even come here anymore to fast charge. Like, since it's not free, I'm just going to charge at home. And with it being 15 cents a kilowatt hour, let's say the next year I have 2,000 kilowatt hours of power. That's so much less money than gas. It just is. I mean, with my Tacoma that I had previously, I was spending about $200 to $250 a month in gas. So electricity is just considerably less expensive, and the price doesn't change, but maybe once a year if the electric rates go up, which in my area they've gone up a penny a kilowatt hour the past year or two. So with gas it changes every day. Electricity, it doesn't. Just go home, plug in, you're good to go. The future of my channel, I haven't really talked about it, but my day-to-day is I'm an IT manager. That's what I do for a living, IT manager for a nonprofit. And so I want to start covering videos about electronics, videos about networking, computer things. So you may see some of those videos on this YouTube channel. If you're not into that, that's okay. You don't have to stick around, but I appreciate you all viewing my bZ4X videos. If you have a question about the car or a comment, just leave that below. I try to get to all of the comments that I can. Try to help you all out. You can follow me on X if you want with the same username. So TyHind88 is my username there on X if you want to follow me there. So yeah, I appreciate each and every one of you sticking around the past 10, 11 months. So yeah, that's my 1 year ownership video. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you on the next one.